This is KGW News at 11.
We have to come together and start showing empathy and love towards one another. I know my dad was just one, but there's so many others that are experiencing what my family is experiencing, and this is not anything you wish on anyone. So it's just senseless. It needs to stop. It's hurting families. It's causing pain, and you wouldn't wish this on anyone.
That local family is mourning their loved one tonight as gun violence in Portland takes another life too soon. It's the issue so many of you are upset about and demanding action over. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm Galen Etlin. Now, this weekend, at least 2 people were killed in 2 days in separate shootings. Our Mike Benner shares more about the 29th person shot and killed in Portland yesterday and the 30th homicide from today.
This was the scene at Southeast 9th and Ash overnight. Officers responding to reports of a shooting around 1:15 Sunday morning. They found evidence of gunfire, but no victim. Turned out he went by private vehicle to the hospital, where he later died. This deadly shooting was the second in Portland in a 24-hour span, the first coming around 1:15 Saturday morning near Southeast 136th and Powell. Neighbors expressing their frustration just hours after the shooting.
I would really wish people would understand that once they shoot that person, it's over. It's no more.
And perhaps nobody understands that more than the family and friends of the victim, identified by authorities as Jose Monroy Castaneda. The suspect in the shooting death of the 52-year-old remains a mystery. So too does the motive. Detectives certainly have their work cut out for them, just as they do with the second deadly shooting of the weekend, the one at Southeast 9th and Ash in Portland's Buckman neighborhood. A GoFundMe has been launched to help Jose Monroy Castaneda's family with unexpected expenses in the wake of his sudden death. If you'd like to contribute, you can find a link to that GoFundMe on our website, kgw.com. I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
Now, an Oregon mother from Albany is locked up tonight, accused of killing her own 3-year-old daughter. Here's what happened here. Albany police pulled over Rebecca Gasparino around 2:30 yesterday morning. They say she ran a stop sign. At some point, they realized she may be a danger to herself or others, so they did a welfare check at her home and found the child's body. Neighbors are now remembering the times they saw the toddler across the street playing with her father.
That's what really got me, is the baby in the car seat with her dad, and now she's able to rest now, but the dad, he's got to move on, and I don't know how you do that.
Now, people have been visiting a memorial at the home all day long. Gasparino is in the Lynn County Jail facing several charges, including first-degree murder. And this is the story the world is watching today in Ukraine. 2 top American officials were in Kyiv today. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin were the first U.S. officials to visit Kyiv since Russia invaded Ukraine in February. This comes on Orthodox Easter, when people were praying for those on the front lines of war and others trapped in cities like Mariupol. That's where a Ukrainian fighter reported Russians dropped air bombs, and that was during repeated attempts to storm a plant housing the last of the resistance. Now, here in the U.S., more refugees are arriving every day. Religious organizations like the St. Peter and Paul Ukrainian Orthodox Church are sponsoring many of them so they can stay in our country.
Because already, you're coming after war, very difficult. Sorry, and it's to help timely and support them. It's very important.
We need to keep working, and we need to keep helping all those in need.
Now, during their meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Secretaries Lloyd and Austin promised more than $300 million of foreign military financing and a $165 million sale of ammunition. They also said President Biden will announce a new pick for a U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. Back locally now, a new pop-up exhibit at Portland State University is remembering lives of people who died crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. That exhibit is made up of 3,200 toe tags that students, faculty, and volunteers have been filling out for the past few weeks. Those tags are then placed on a map of the U.S.-Mexico border where bodies have been found. Those tags have different colors depending on if a person was identified or not.
And the exhibit is really drawing attention to a policy, a migration policy of the United States called the Prevention Through Deterrence Policy that was introduced in 1994, which heavily policed urban parts of the US-Mexico border that forced people then to migrate through the desert. So this map represents the Sonoran Desert of Arizona. So all these bodies have been found in the desert, and so people who migrate through the desert are face very harsh conditions.
Definitely a powerful image. Now, the exhibit was organized by the Undocumented Migration Project. That nonprofit uses several scientific approaches to understand various aspects of border crossings, including the many forms of violence and suffering that lead to such a journey. Well, there is a new resource for survivors of violent crime and abuse in Washington County. And today, that new Justice Center invited people in for an open house. The event marked Sexual Assault Awareness Month, Child Abuse Prevention Month, and National Crime Victims' Rights Week. The new center is unique, too, because 15 different organizations operate out of one building to help anyone in need.
Communicating, collaborating, and coordinating to ensure that there is a single holistic access point for survivors in our community to make sure that all of the services they need can be accessed in one place so that they don't have to travel around the community in order to try to get their needs met in the hardest time of their entire life.
Today's open house also featured a survivor artwork gallery and children's artwork display. Okay, well, the other big story that everyone is watching is the weather this weekend. It has been spectacular. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri, you're going to take credit, I'm sure.
Yeah, well,
things are changing, though, right?
I'll do what I can. But today was the second day, or I should say the second time this month, where we saw temperatures 70 or above. We hit 72
I was here for it.
Yeah, and you were. Thank you, Galen, for joining me. You played a role in it, right? But right. Heading into the work week, the last week of April, we're going to be going back to more of a cool and showery weather pattern. So as we look at the maps right now, we're looking at some mild readings a little here after 11 o'clock, right around the upper 50s to low 60s. Yeah, many of us were anywhere from about 68 to 72 degrees for your daytime high. I tell you this right now, tomorrow is not going to be nearly as nice, although most of the rain will be arriving by the later part of the morning into the afternoon. Up and down the Oregon coastline, we're looking at temperatures in the low 50s right now. East side of the state, Baker City, a temperature of 45 degrees. Now, we're dry right now with a temperature of 61 degrees. Have been picking up some light showers along the northern part of the Oregon coast and into parts of Newport. Expect to see that rain really kind of get a little bit more intense late tonight and into tomorrow. But rainfall amounts for most of tomorrow will be relatively light. So let's bring in the futurecast. You can see here, early tomorrow morning, picking up some light showers. But again, a lot of us could be waking up to some dry conditions throughout the metro area and really up and down the I-5 corridor. There will be pockets of showers at times throughout your morning commute. And then heading into the later part of the afternoon, we'll start to see those showers move through. And those showers will be kind of continuing into Tuesday. Come Tuesday afternoon, there's a chance we'll be seeing some thunderstorms and maybe a little hail mixed in with some heavier downpours at times. And there's a chance we could also kind of leapfrog where we are right now in terms of the wettest Aprils on record. Right now, we're standing about 8th wettest on record. Now, the wettest is right around 5 inches and a quarter. We potentially could get close to that over the next several days. So showers move in overnight as we look at the weather headlines. Temperatures below normal all this week, often on showers most of the week as well. And coming to my detailed forecast, I'll let you know if there's any chance to see another round of warmer conditions over the next several days.
All right, Joe, sounds good. See you in a few minutes. Millions of birds are on the move over Oregon skies tonight. They are shifting their normal resting hours to migrate, but they face some big obstacles because of many of us. So that's why experts say there are some simple things we can all do tonight and the next few days to help out.
3.9 million birds are taking flight over Oregon, migrating for spring. Some are even visible from Weather Service radar. That's rain to the left and blips of geese on the right. Tens of thousands of those birds are expected to cross over Portland and Salem Sunday night into Monday, prompting a special red alert. For Mary Coolidge with Portland Audubon.
Yep, I'm definitely a bird nerd.
It's an exciting and meaningful time.
A lot of ways in which birds are actually important to our ecosystem and our economy.
From eating pests like mosquitoes to pollinating and spreading seeds of critical plants, birds help keep Oregon beautiful. But as they migrate over our brightly lit cities at night, they face navigation challenges.
Because they're using stars as a map. They may run right into a building, they may circle buildings and then collapse from exhaustion.
That's why Portland Audubon is asking people to turn off unnecessary lights and pull down blinds at night as birds migrate over the next 10 days or so.
Do you need that porch light on all night long?
For years, some Portland buildings, like the Convention Center towers, have participated in this annual Lights Out.
We're understanding that migrating birds is something we need to protect.
The environmental impact aside, birdwatching as an industry rakes in $41 billion a year nationally. So Portland Audubon says behavioral adjustments are a small price to pay to keep birds safely on the move.
I think we really need to start changing our relationship with the way that we use light.